Hello, and welcome back to Beyond the Labels, a space where we tell the truth about healing without performing for approval. I'm Ann Alexis, and I guide high achievers, especially those who've had to be the strong one, back into emotional safety, self trust, and real alignment. And today, I'm recording from a Healing Homestead, a space I'm building for deep restoration, nervous system safety, and the kind of healing you can actually feel in your body. It's also where I host healing retreats for women who are ready to step out of survival mode and come home to themselves. So if you're watching this and I happen to be in the background gardening, building, resting, living, just know this is intentional. Healing isn't only something we talk about, it's something we practice. And today, we're talking about trauma loops, why you can be smart, self aware, successful, and still find yourself repeating the same patterns in love, in conflict, in work, and in self worth. So, have you ever said, why do I keep ending up here? Why do I keep choosing the same kind of person? Why do I keep overgiving and then resenting? Why do I keep shutting down and then feeling alone? Why do I push people away? Why do I keep promising myself I'll change and then doing the same thing? Why do I pray to God that I'll do it different if He helps me this time and then I don't do it different? Oh, goodness. The list goes on and on and on, and you know it. But if you are saying things on this list, please know that's not you being weak. That's not you being broken. That's your nervous system running a familiar program. And today, I want to help you understand the loop so you can finally interrupt it with compassion and power. So, what is a trauma loop? Well, a trauma loop is a repeated pattern that your nervous system returns to because it feels familiar, even when it hurts. Let me say that one more time. Trauma loops aren't chosen because they feel good, they're chosen because they feel known. Known, familiar. Remember, maybe something's familiar, but it's not necessarily safe. So your body learns what love looks like, what conflict means, what safety requires, what you have to do to belong. So even when your mind wants something different, your body goes back to what it recognizes. And that can look like chasing emotionally unavailable people, overworking until you crash, people pleasing, then disappearing, avoiding conflict, then exploding, staying in relationships that drain you, self sabotaging right when things get good. I laugh a little in the background because obviously these things are on the list because they're things that I've done. We always want to make sure that we're speaking from a place of genuine understanding when we're doing something like talking to people about healing, because I'm not floating out of the sky with some kind of miracle remedy. I am sharing things that I've acquired over decades because I felt fucked up. So when you're listening to these podcasts and I'm sharing these things are not separate from me. These things are all things that I've experienced and participated in and have lived to tell the tale. So let's move into the homestead metaphor. And this today is titled The Worn Path. So when you walk the same path across land over and over and over again, it becomes worn. It becomes the easiest route, even if it's not the best route. Having hiked up to Machu Picchu from the base, I can attest to the fact that sometimes the easiest route isn't the best route, and vice versa. But even if it leads you somewhere you don't want to go, trauma loops are worn paths in the nervous system. They're the routes you take automatically when you're tired, triggered, lonely, overwhelmed, or afraid. Healing doesn't start with judging the path. Healing starts with noticing that you're on it. Hello. Hello there. Yeah, it's just like AA. you know, the first step is recognizing that there is a problem, right? Accepting that fact. So the first step is realizing that you're on a path that you've been wearing deep grooves into the land as you keep going down it, keep going down it. The land that is the foundation of what you're building, right? Yourself. So our reframe here is that your pattern is protecting you, right? Your pattern is not a moral failure. It's protection. It doesn't need to be judged. It's just protection. Even the patterns you hate, even the ones that cost you, they started because at some point they did work. Nobody does something for years and years and years. It doesn't work. At some point, they did work. They helped you survive a home that wasn't emotionally safe, relationships where love was conditional, environments where you had to be perfect, seasons where you couldn't fall apart. So we don't shame the pattern. We don't judge. There's no reason to judge. There's no benefit in judgment. We just think it and we updated it. Because that's real. You have to thank it. It did get you here. If you're here and you're listening, all of those patterns that weren't working for you are part of why you're here now. So we thank it and now we update it. The 4-part loop. This is the simplest way to understand a trauma loop, to me, anyway. It usually has 4 parts. It has a trigger, a body response, a protective behavior, and a familiar outcome. So let's break them down. The trigger is something that happens that activates an old wound, right? Being ignored, being criticized, feeling out of control, feeling misunderstood. Nobody sees me, nobody hears me, feeling like you're too much or not enough. Number 2, body response. Your nervous system then reacts before you think, right? Get the trigger, go to the reaction. Tight chest, shallow breath, racing thoughts, numbness, I'm powering down, heat on your face, urge to fix, flee, freeze, or flight. Then 3 kicks in, the third part of the loop, which is protective behavior. You do what you learned to do. So maybe the trigger and the body response reaction leads you to over explain, to people please, to shut down, to control, to lash out, to disappear, to overwork, to self medicate, scrolling, food, work, sex. Uh, you can self medicate in all kinds of ways. We know this. And then fourth is the familiar outcome, which is where you end up, guess what? In the exact same place where you're resenting or you're lonely or you're burnt out or you're regretful or you feel ashamed. And then you're like, see, I knew it. That's what happens. That's the four parts. And then the loop gets reinforced because you were just like, oh, see, I knew this would happen. Or, ugh, this happens every time I try to dot, dot, dot. So, because your nervous system says, yeah, this is what happens. So you should probably stay guarded and maybe even never even try again. This is what happens. We have a narrative that reinforces the things that aren't serving us. So they continue to get concretized. We continue to get confused. And then we feel more and more like we have authority over our lives. So the reason why high achievers in particular get stuck in these loops is because high achievers, they try to solve nervous system patterns with mindset. It's so cute. It's so cute, right? Like, I love this old version of myself that used to do this. If I just knew what was wrong, well, then I could fix it. I could make it all better. I could justify it. I could explain it away. I could do all kinds of things, right? High achievers say, I know better. I shouldn't feel this way. I'm too grown for this. I'm not going to be like them. But trauma loops don't respond to shame, which, by the way, is all those things I just listed. All all four of those statements are you putting shame upon yourself and telling yourself you're not good enough how you're showing up. And trauma loops don't respond to that. They respond to safety, right? So the question isn't, how do I force myself to stop? The question is, how do I create enough safety to choose differently? The body signal check today is called I'm on the path. This is your moment of power. When you notice you're speeding up, you're tightening, you're rehearsing speeches in your head, you're trying to manage someone's reaction, you're about to abandon yourself, that's actually your moment of power. And what you're going to say to yourself quietly is, I'm on the path. This is not a punishment. As a signal, because it's noticing the interruption. This is how we, instead of saying, I shouldn't feel this way, I'm too grown for this, I'm not going to be like them, all we say is, I'm on the path. I'm on the path. That's it. Let me tell you something. You are always right on time. I don't care what's happening. You are always right on time. And the more you're able to tap into the present moment, the more you will realize that that fact is true, and you will stop judging everything with this constant catastrophizing view of the future or this rumination of the past. Both things cannot be changed by focusing on them. They can only be changed by focusing on the present. You can only stop ruminating from the past, catastrophizing about shitty outcomes when you're in the present moment. That's the only way to stop those things from happening. And that's the only way to change the future, is to be present in the now. So I'm on the path. That's it. No justification, just forgiveness, compassion, and empathy and understanding for yourself. Oh, look at that. That's all it takes. Keep saying that. I'm on the path. I'm on the path. Then you're not saying, I don't get anything right. I never show up like I want to. I blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it is for you. You know what it is. Fill in the blanks. And then replace all those blanks that you just filled in with this phrase: I'm on the path. Let's try a 60-second practice to interrupt the loop. And hopefully, once we get this loop interrupted, we can start doing things like plugging in these kinds of new narratives. So try this with me. Inhale slowly in. Like we always do. When we get ready to practice, we ground first. There is no point in doing practices without grounding, because you are not doing practices. You are just trying to do practices if you have not grounded first. Without the grounding attachment, the efforts don't lock in to the intentionality. Exhale longer than you inhaled. Now look around the room and name 3 things you can see, 2 things you can feel, 1 thing you can hear. Now say, this is now. I'm safe enough to pause. I don't have to repeat the old route. Then you're going to choose a replacement activity, right? Instead of spiraling into that narrative, instead of doing some reactionary behavior, you're going to choose one tiny new path action. Why? Because you're on the path. That's why. So you can take a sip of water, unclench that jaw, unclench those booty cheeks, put your feet on the ground, preferably no shoes and no socks. Delay the text response by 10 minutes. You know what text response I'm talking about. Say one clear sentence instead of a paragraph, or step outside for 60 seconds. Just some small examples of new actions that create new nervous system pathways. So some real life examples of what it looks like when that new path is in translation, right? From the old path. Old path, over explaining. New path, that doesn't work for me. Old path, shut down, disassociate, go inside yourself, slump your shoulders on, put your head down. New path, I need a minute, but I'm not leaving the relationship. Okay, that's for people please. That's that people pleasing energy is going to be next. And if you're a people pleaser, then if that's your old path and your new path, I'm going to check in with myself and get back to you. If you're an overworker, your old path, then your new path is, I'm stopping at a sustainable point. Ooh, hello, everything doesn't have to be done in a day. Did you know that? Did somebody tell you that today? Guess what? You don't have to complete every task today. There is a tomorrow. It's coming. It's coming. You can deal with it tomorrow. Old path, chase, right? Constantly chasing after whatever. New path, if it's not mutual, it's not mine. Say it again, and Alexis. If it's not mutual, it's not mine. If you find yourself chasing something, then you've also found yourself off your path. And I don't mean chasing your dreams. Obviously, high achievers, we chase our dreams. That's why we're in that category. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about chasing that D. I'm talking about chasing that ass. I'm talking about chasing the things that don't serve you, that's already clear that it's not going to be your day to day for that thing, and letting it go. I had a client tell me the other day, she was very, very intentional in saying, I want to get out and do more things on my own. Feel like that would boost my confidence. So she bought some tickets to go to a show, to go to a concert on her own. Every single thing that day that could have gone wrong, that kept her from that show, went wrong. Everything. And she stopped on like the fourth or fifth thing that happened, which was, I think, something like the trains went down or something like that. And on this fourth thing, she said, I stopped and I took a breath, and I just took a minute. And I said, this is not for me today. And the universe is showing me that, and that's okay. She told herself, there are other ways for me to spend time getting out and about in life by myself. But she was like, for whatever reason, this moment at this time it's not, I'm not chasing it. I'm not going to chase it. And she just let it go. And she didn't attend the concert, and she just listened to the universe, listened to source, listened to God, whatever you want to call it, inner voice, consciousness, collective consciousness. She listened to it, and she didn't chase. She said, essentially, if it's not mutual, it's not mine. So if you recognized yourself in this, if this podcast resonates with you today, I want you to know you're not failing, you're patterned. And patterns can be healed and changed and rebooted and updated and reevaluated and everything. So, if you're ready to go deeper, start with my alignment assessment. From there, you'll receive your personalized healing blueprint. So you're not guessing what you need or trying to heal with generic advice. And if you want to talk it through with me, booking a 15-minute consultation is always an available option. We'll look at your specific loops, what your nervous system is protecting you from, and what support would actually feel aligned for you. So until next time, may you choose the new path, one safe pause at a time.